And welcome to Kelly's Bar for another episode of Yards After Contact. With me alongside is Ryan Kelly, the co-owner of the Kelly's Bar here on Mahoney Avenue in Youngstown, Ohio. Delray Pizza, whatever. How's it going, Ryan?
It's good. Another exciting week of football in our area. So
Week 7
always
already.
good to be here as well.
We got South Range on the docket tonight. We got a couple media guys coming in to join our show. It should be a little bit interesting as usual. What's your perspective this week? Looking back at Week 6 and maybe looking forward to Week 7.
Yeah, now it's you're getting into the playoff talk. I think the AP polls are coming out. Everything it's heating up now. Kind of looking at last week, I think our guys and your guys.
I went to the Urson game. Let's start there. Since you're an Urson guy.
Yeah, they're struggling, man, and it's just they can't put it together.
It's demoralizing. It's demoralizing.
They're ran down a little bit. I think it's a little bit disappointing in the fact of they played a team from Rochester that, and if you look at kind of matchup things, that team beat the team that Mooney destroyed by I think 15 points. So it's just hard. You can't get momentum and you can't get a good feel for things. And now they got to play Steubenville this week.
Is it a lost season now? Steubenville's going to beat them.
Yeah, it's hard to say it's not, but at the end of the day, it's just like Ohio State and Michigan. You could salvage something if you could beat Mooney. You could salvage something when you're Ohio State.
And that's happened before. Because you've played on.
Yeah,
you played on a bad Ursuline team or two, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and you still beat Ursuline. Yes.
I didn't beat Mooney one time.
Or Mooney,
in 4 years.
Sorry.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah, so I can't say that, but I've been a part of it as a coach where you could salvage it there, but it's just like I said, who knows? Because you're Steubenville. And it doesn't. There's no breaks in between, so I don't know. It's just it's tough. It's tough to be a fan. I know it's tough for these coaches. So.
Parochial league wise, Mooney's kind of still in it, hanging around.
Yeah, Mooney's hanging around, and they're kind of getting hot. I mean, for them, they didn't. What was it? Their first home game they've had so far. So I mean,
Week 6 first home game.
That's the same thing with them. I mean, they're struggling. They were struggling at times, but they're getting it. I know
they have all winnable games on their schedule.
Yeah, I think. Defensively, they're pretty good all year long. They couldn't get it going offensively, and they kind of got it rolling a little bit now. I know that the defensive end's getting some looks college-wise. They have a linebacker that's getting some looks, and obviously our tackle that was down here. So they got some talent on that team with the quarterback. Looking at this week, I think a couple. Boardman is going on that disappointing streak again. And
they'll right the ship this week at Harding.
Yeah, and you would think so. And you look at Harding. Harding played a team in Lakeside where they had to squeak it out against them. So, I mean, I don't know. It's
not their year.
It's a funny thing. Fitch was on a little bit of a winning streak.
I was at the Fitch game.
I don't think particularly this is a good Massillon team this year. I don't know what your opinion of it was, but, they hung around with them, so...
It was 7-7, 14-14, 21-21, 28-28. Yeah. They kept matching scores until the end when.
How did our guy Jakari play?
He played well. He wasn't a standout on offense, but he was solid, real solid, and he was solid on defense. I thought he played real well.
As a linebacker prospect, how was he?
Well, they had, for my opinion, they had a wide receiver that's a junior who had a great game for them, and I think who wouldn't want to recruit a legitimate 6'5" guy who's going to probably put on some more weight. He's a basketball player, I was told, so he was very impressive. He's a junior. There's right there. I see guys like that. That gets me going because potential Ohio State prospect.
You look
potential.
You look at Harding. Harding's got a prospect. They got. It's just I don't know. Once again, you lose Lynn Bowden. And I'm going to say it. And that's a pretty
He's doing
big,
things at Kentucky.
Yeah, I know that.
Not surprisingly.
The big thing is people are upset that he's not playing more at Kentucky, but he was a kid that he wasn't officially eligible to go down there until I think the first week of camp. So this isn't roll the ball out, let's play football at Harding or Liberty. This is
they had a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross.
Yeah, this is the SEC. You can't just casually go into that. But you got South Range who's here today. They're still undefeated.
What do you think of them, huh?
Man, I tell you what, I took a look at the region today. It's up there, man. They got a good path. They don't got to go through Ursuline or Mooney. as they typically have. So, you got Gilmore Academy that doesn't do anything for me. That's probably the other favorite. So, they're a special team, I think.
And they're playing good competition. It's going to only help them, I think. This week is only going to help them for the playoffs.
I never thought that I
Sharon.
would be excited to potentially go see a Poland Canfield game, but that's going to be something that's
Week 10.
Yeah, that's coming down the pike, and that's special. Another one now.
Let me ask you this before you get too far away from South Range. Were you in that team
I
when they
played,
played in the cold against South Range?
We played
right around there.
South Range in the
At Fitch?
regional final against Fitch.
In very
my
cold
senior
weather,
year.
right?
Mhm.
You were on that team.
Yeah, it was not to go too much Married with Children high school reminiscing, but
2008?
Yeah, the
Or seventh
season. The atmosphere was fantastic for that
cold.
game.
That game was
I
cold.
believe they were undefeated at the time, and we just, at that time we had not made the playoffs for a while, so it was kind of like we were actually the underdog going into it, which is crazy. But
Well,
I think we scored on
paper.
80-yard touchdowns in the first two plays.
But then I told, talking with Coach earlier before the show that, I think they didn't have a chance to beat Ursuline at that point. Now they do have a chance to beat a parochial Mooney Ursuline. If
Yeah, and
they have
like
a
I
chance.
said,
They have a
and
competitive chance.
You'll be able to interview him here shortly and be able to talk to him a little bit. I think one of the things that, in talking to some other coaches, Coach Yeagley's a great coach. I think, defensively at times you would see in the past, maybe there was a couple different things. That they're running a different defense now. I guess for the last couple of years, they got I believe their defense coordinator, last name's Rock. He played for YSU under Haycock. He's a Haycock disciple. They run like an under front. It's pretty cool. They got it's a different side. It doesn't look like the South Range of the past, which is crazy to say because how many times they've been 10-0 and everything else. I mean, they're definitely an improved team.
Now, I know you troll the internet a little bit. What are you picking up out there about this area, about the teams, about who they're fearing in general?
Our area is obviously down.
Is Poland the best team in the area, do you think, from what you're hearing or what you see?
From what I'm hearing, I know that, but Canfield's a quality team.
They are. I just think Poland has a little more.
I would agree. I think it's kind of everything that Poland up front, you can give the ball to multiple different guys because they're so big up front. And hats off actually to whoever's running their off-season program because I watched them last year and they looked like a bunch of thin guys.
New coach first year.
Thin guys, but they
transition.
They must have had a great off-season. They put because they're not bringing in players from different areas. I mean, those are their guys in their program. So I mean, that's what they. They're doing a good job, but Canfield, once again, they have a bunch of wrestlers. I think on the radio they said they had 36 wrestlers. So, they got a bunch of tough kids.
I saw them first half of the Struthers game, and you could tell they were, better equipped in that ball game as composed to Struthers, who's playing without AJ Irusi, obviously.
But to circle back a bit to Boardman, since they played Canfield last week,
sure.
Boardman, I think their opening drive, they drive on the field, they miss a field goal. Then they get a turnover, and they end up fumbling the ball. Their quarterback, they're sneaking the ball, and end up fumbling. It's just like they can't catch a break. They can't get out of their own way, and it's
I just
tough.
hope they don't go into the tailspin like they did last year. This is the game they got to turn. They have to turn around against Harding, and I think they will.
And I think it's so big for them because it's like, they're still kind of in it, playoff hunt-wise.
And they got Ursuline after, not many more points again.
And they got to win out. But the thing about it with them is, you got to look at you have a junior quarterback, you have some solid juniors. You need to get momentum moving into that big senior year. So then you could have, Girard kind of finished the year last year on a high note, and look at what it's doing for them now.
What do you think about Girard, since you mentioned them?
Well,
they can go 10-0 and not make the playoffs.
Potentially.
Yeah,
you have. I look at it this way: you have Girard, but now at the end. You have this hot Liberty team that they'll be. And
hot's a relative term.
But
I don't know. We'll see.
They have the Russian.
They play champion next week, 0-6.
They have
They're
the
going to
Russian
win that.
kid who's a really tough player.
Are they for real, or are they just benefiting from a schedule?
To go back, and I believe I listened to you on Friday on Ron Potesta's show talking about how the football in the area is down a little bit. I think what hurts us the most is just when you look at our overall population. I just feel like we have too many schools and everything's spread so thin. Okay, it's like if you
Columbus has new schools every year.
But I mean, population-wise, if you look at,
understand.
Okay, well, just imagine this. Okay, South Range has a very good team. Can you imagine if South Range was combined with Columbiana and Salem? You have these kids, or like a Girard. Put Rushton with that quarterback from Girard. Now he's, now you got dynamic, and you add, you give him more bodies. And the obvious one is, let's combine Ursuline and Mooney. Let's make ourselves a powerhouse around here. But, I mean, it's just, I think that's I personally think that's what's hurting us a little bit in our area. I think you have a bunch of smaller schools that have a couple guys, and that just, and it hurts us.
Or is population just moving out of Youngstown in general? And
I just think we just don't have as many. Yeah, moving not just to the suburbs, but moving everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's obvious. Our area has never really had a ton of big kids. We weren't a big lineman area, but it's like. But if you get these couple good kids, and if you look at like an Ursuline, they got some guys with Ursuline that have alumni. Their dads went to Ursuline and some ties.
Legacy guys.
Like that. The Brenz kid, who's a really tough running back, linebacker, or safety. I don't know. He's a hybrid guy. His dad is an Ursuline Hall of Famer. But Canfield's
Brent's
a good
from
school.
Canfield.
Yeah. Canfield's a good school, and Coach Pav's doing a good job of keeping these guys. So it's tough.
Do you think Canfield can make a serious run?
Well,
they're number one in their region.
So this is another one I look up today. St. V's is the only other quality team in the region. So if St. V's is not there, yeah, I think so. But to beat St. V's, that's a whole different ball game. The thing about them is St. V's. So I think, fortunately, I think that Ursuline will struggle week 10 against them. I think that's probably their win. But right now, they're sitting at 5-1, but they have 3 losses on their schedule potentially. They have St. V's I'm talking about. They have Madison, Washington. They have LaSalle. They have another quality.
LaSalle?
They have
State champion.
Exactly. They have another quality team. So it's like they could be, and if they go 6-4, they're not in. So if you look at their numbers, so that's the thing. So Canfield's just got to sit there and hope and pray that they're not there.
Okay, Region 1 is Fitch, and they're likely not in.
Mm-hmm.
Harding and Boardman Region 2. Boardman got a shot.
Potentially, yeah.
Canfield in 3.
3, yep.
4 we got at least Poland. Anyone else? Struthers is out.
Struthers is out, yeah, at this
Girard?
point. Girard, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like you said, 9-1 may not get him in. 10-0 potentially might not get him in. So.
Are we missing anybody there?
No one, I believe, in 5.
5 is South Range.
Yeah, or some so far 5. No, 5 is just South Range.
6 Western Reserve.
Western Reserve has that potential, and then.
Does Kennedy have any life?
In 7, they're banged up. They got. I talked to their coach today, and he told me coming into the year, he thought in their division they had 4 or 5 guys that were some of the tops in the division, and he said at the end of the first quarter, all 5 were on crutches. So it's like,
wow.
They gotta limp through it. It's just, and that's the other part. Him and I talk all the time. Don Perloga, their defensive coordinator, he was the defensive coordinator in Canfield in 2005 when they lost in the championship. He coached with me at Ursuline for a time when we lost at Kirtland in the regional, and that was probably one of the best teams of all those runs. And it's obviously the big part is having guys to win a state championship, and then there's coaching. You got to be able to coach them up, but there's a lot of luck that goes into it. And even in that when Ursuline made the run, yeah, they had quality guys, but if you lose the wrong guys, the wrong right guys, and Akis T goes down that run, and Alan Jones, Jamel Turner, you lose just the wrong guys, and it's just like you can't.
But having Dan Reardon there isn't too bad of a.
Yeah,
helps you out a little bit.
And we were laughing today, and I was telling him South Rangers on. The unique thing about Reardon was we'd have, we played. Unfortunately, we were laughing when I told Coach Yeagley I used to coach at Ursuline. He just gave me and shook his head. And last time we played, we beat him up pretty good with the Keys that year. But the thing about it is where Reardon was unique is we would sit there, we would be playing a team, not so much a South Ranger, anybody that we were significantly better than with guys. And with the Keys that year, the year in 2010 with the Keys, I honestly believe that we could have won a state championship maybe in any division that year because we were solid, we had depth on both sides of the ball. But with that being said, he would go into a game that we should easily win by 40. We'd spend 7, 8, 9, 10 hours breaking down film, and we'd just be pulling our hair out like, just run power to Akis. Give the ball to Akis. But, he never left a stone unturned. He was in all 3 phases of the game, and there's another thing. You watch him. I mean, he's on the path to go 10-0.
6-0.
He's got Massillon Jackson this week, which is a big one.
Well, let's give Borman some credit for that win.
Exactly. I actually
They
got to
beat
meet.
Madison Jackson, who has one loss.
I got to meet a coach from Purdue this past week. He was in town recruiting. He was their offensive line coach. Really nice guy. But he was, they were giving a really strong look to the quarterback from Massillon Jackson.
Yes.
Now, he was, they're in a situation.
He's a big-time kid.
Yeah, they're in a situation where he was telling me that, they only really want to pull the trigger on a guy that's going to be a program changer. So I don't think that they ended up pulling the trigger because they're just going to offer one quarterback this year. But he said they really gave a strong look to him. So
Now I'm thinking that's a lot of second-level points Borman's going to get out of this.
Yeah.
If they could put together 2-3 nice wins here
Yeah.
to close out the season,
and
just get in the top
like you
8.
said, the Ursuline game.
Just got to get in the top 8,
The
right?
Ursuline game is a very, at this point, a very winnable game. But how many points is it going to give them? Because I don't know if Ursuline has another win on their schedule, and maybe Mooney, but I don't know. They're banged up.
Fitch.
They're banged up. So.
Borman beats Fitch. There's a lot of points
Yeah.
there as well.
Uh-huh. So,
Should be interesting.
yeah.
We'll be back with more yards after contact. Some technical difficulties from Kelly's Barn, Youngstown, Ohio. And welcome back to Yards After Contact. This is Bob Hannon here as our next guest from Kelly's Bar in Youngstown, Ohio. The voice of the Penguins, Bob Hannon. Great win, that's all we can say.
Wow.
Where do we begin?
Gary, begin with time of possession, 45 minutes.
That's incredible.
In the second half, South Dakota State had the football for 3 minutes.
Wow.
This is one of the
Second half.
Second half, they had the ball for 3
Wow.
minutes. One of the so-called best offenses in FCS football. So I think you begin with the Penguins' offensive line was dominant, controlled the game. Tevin McCaster rushed for 183
Nice.
yards, 35 carries. McCaster was a walk-on from Newcastle.
Newcastle
and,
High.
and now he's the stud running back.
With 20.
Yeah, that's impressive, Gary. That was not just beating anybody. That's beating an elite program.
How was the crowd? Describe it, if you could.
Loud into the game.
What did it look like?
It looked probably more than there was because there were some spots in the middle where there weren't people. I'd say maybe 13,000. So you get in a situation where it's bigger than what we have been, so it looks bigger. It was loud. I'll say this, the crowd was into the game. They were loud when we were on defense. They weren't, listening to the Ohio State game on the radio. They were paying attention to what the Penguins were doing. And I thought it's the best crowd we've had since, I don't know, probably, maybe 5-6 years.
Has this program turned the corner in
100%.
any way, or how?
Here's where it's turned the corner. You lose 6 players on defense. You lose 2 tremendous running backs, Jody Webb and Martin Ruiz. And
Very
you-
good running back.
And you might be better. There's no longer, I think, in the Pelini era,
Wow.
you're going to be 4-7, 5-6. Many people thought this team would take a step backwards. I think they've taken a step forward.
Is this because of Pelini?
Pelini. He's building a program.
He's recruiting well.
We have a true freshman cornerback, Gibson. We've got a great freshman running back, Turner.
Is that 20?
That's 20.
That's,
He's
I
really
like
good.
that.
Out of
I saw
Cincinnati,
him in
LaSalle
state
High
playoffs
School.
A couple years.
What's most impressive is our entire secondary was wiped out. And now our secondary is better this year than it was a year
It's
ago.
like the Buckeyes every year.
Well, it is. It's starting to reload. I agree. I think that where we were
You
before,
got to have players, though, right? No
Right.
matter what.
under Coach Haycock and Coach Wolford, we'd have a good year, and then we'd be 3-8. And we'd be like, what happened? It wasn't building a program. Coach Pelini is building a successful program that will be a playoff team every year, barring major injuries.
So making runs at championships is going to be like the 90s now?
Well, I don't know whether we'll ever go to the 90s.
Maybe not win them, but still.
90s was 4 championships, 6 trips to the title game.
91, 93, 94, 97.
I don't think you can ever sustain that. What I'm saying is Youngstown State will be a playoff team every year, and every 3 or 4 years make a legitimate run at a national championship.
So can we be like a North Dakota State type of team now? Do we ever reach that level or not? We're still trying to get there.
That's 5 titles in a
well,
row.
okay, but the ability to maybe
I think what we're going to be is we're not going to be what North Dakota State did, but we're going to be a playoff team deep into the playoffs. And to win a national title, you got to have a little bit of luck. North Dakota State was tremendous. They got some big wins along the way. But Gary, no, I think this is a team this year that has the potential to be in the conversation to win a national championship. I think they're that good.
Who are there local players helping out on this
Yeah,
squad?
there's
Anybody to speak of that
well,
we know?
our kicker Zach Kennedy, and
Okay.
our special teams are dynamic. Kennedy's a really good
Zach's a good
kicker.
kicker. From Cardinal Mooney.
And Mark Scholler, our punter,
Okay.
is
Springfield?
excellent. Springfield.
Okay.
So those two guys, we haven't seen Scholler a lot. That's a good thing. Our punter's not been on the field. So we're really good there. Joe Alessi's gotten some play on special teams.
South Ring?
I'll tell you, yeah, and I'll tell you a guy that's had a big punt return the other night, called back because of penalty, Coates from Warren
Wow.
JFK.
Really?
He's getting a lot of work on special teams, returning punts and returning kicks. So you ask about local players,
How
most
about
of their
Scott?
back special
Has he
teams.
reached his potential yet? Or
No. Isaiah Scott, he shows flashes. He's big, he's strong.
Great size.
He looks the
Great
part.
size in high school.
I wouldn't even say he's our number one or number two yet. I would have to say Patterson. Receiver. But he shows moments
Yeah.
when you look and go, wow, this guy's going to be a star. But he's not gotten there yet.
Is this exciting to you compared to the championship years still? I mean, you're older than dirt.
I've
here
been
now.
doing it 29 years, okay? What's exciting, Gary, is we were down for a while.
Wow.
And now to see it coming back. So it is exciting because this is the real deal. This last year was not a fluke where YSU got hot and got to the championship. And because I talked to some of my peers in the conference that do games, and I think they thought YSU was a little bit of a fluke last year because we weren't all that good during the season. We got hot late.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Bo Pelini's got Youngstown State back, where as long as he's here, we're going to be causing havoc in FCS football. Yeah, I'm having a great time.
Give us the background. How 40 years you've been doing it?
I've been doing it 29. First year, close. First year, 1989. Gary, along the way.
Newcastle graduate.
Yep, went to Slippery Rock University. But along the
So
way,
you're allowed to be a Steeler fan. I'll just
big time.
give you that.
Once I took the job at United Way, I thought I'm going to give this up.
Well, let me ask you on camera. Why did you get out of news, sports?
It was time. We went through a merger with 27 and Fox, and I didn't like the direction the TV was going.
Okay.
I felt like I lost a little control of. I was no longer the sports director, and that's the way management decided. When we merged with 27, we were considered the smaller or weaker entity. So most of the people at 33 either lost their job or were in a lesser role. So even though I was on air, I was in a lesser role.
Stan Boney survived.
Stan Boney says, it'll be 100 years from now, Stan Boney will be doing the news on 27, Gary. Gary, I like being the boss, okay?
Yeah.
And I wasn't the boss anymore, so I had to go find a job where I could be the boss.
So did they find you, or did you find them?
United Way?
Yeah, and was it before you quit your job at 33?
I spent about a year at 33
in that situation, in limbo.
in limbo. And I think had I not gone to United Way, I'd still be at 33. I don't think my job was in jeopardy, at least I don't believe that. But I found United Way. I thought there was an opportunity where I could do some good.
Did somebody quit or retire? Right.
Yeah, Don
at the right
Cahigas was
time?
the president. He was retiring. They were grooming someone on the inside.
And then you came.
But I threw my hat into the ring, and I think they felt maybe he knows some people we don't know. He can fundraise,
Yeah.
can open some doors. But I will tell you this, Gary, when you go interview people with a mic, they're much more receptive than when I tell them write a check. But it's going well. I love United Way, and it was the best move I could have ever made.
And you got some great. I know you got great people you count on and rely on there to help your program.
When I start mentioning names, I'm going to forget somebody, but Sam Cavelli, Ed Moransky,
Love 'em.
Denise DeBartolo York,
Don't know her.
tremendous support. All the banks, all the car dealers, we have great local support.
Rick Frieda.
Rick's the best from Comco Industries. Rick's a genuine person who's on our board. He gives money not just to give money. He wants to see children in tough situations have a chance to succeed.
You miss Big Ed in the booth with you?
I do. I miss his plane. Well, you know what I miss about Big Ed? Ed was so prepared. Ed was so thorough. Now here's Ed Moransky. He has a hospital, Lake Club, Annie Ann's. He would go to practice 2-3 days a week. He had a binder this thick with notes and information.
I see where his son gets it, huh?
Yeah, exactly. If Ed's going to do something, Gary, he's going to be all in and do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do miss him.
How's Chris?
Chris is good. Chris brings the credibility.
Sam Marone.
Yeah, Sam Marone does the games with me. He played here, close to the program, opinionated. At times, maybe they feel too opinionated at YSU, but he's not a homer. And I prefer someone who is authentic, and Chris is authentic. He's going to tell you what he thinks.
So you wouldn't do a Buckeye game with me because I'm a homer.
Well, if I could do a Buckeye game, Gary.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
You had a couple cracks at it down there.
Yeah, I had a great time, covering Ohio State when Tressel was there.
You had access.
Yeah, it certainly had access. Had a lot of access to
More than a lot of people I know
Coach Tressel.
that have been around the
One
program.
of my favorite stories was second year, they're getting ready to go to the national championship.
2002.
So I want to go cover the game in Arizona.
Okay.
My boss tells me, you need to do an hour special and we need to raise $10,000. So we're not getting the money we needed. I said, well, I'll get an interview with Coach Tressel. He said, the next day it's sold out. Show's sold out. We're going to make our money. You go for a full week. I hadn't even talked to Tressel yet.
Ooh,
So I sent him an email, and it's 2 weeks before Christmas. He said, we'll make it happen. It's December 23rd. The team's leaving on Christmas. I'm like, I'm going to get fired here. Tressel says, can you be at my house on Christmas Eve? True story. Jim Bowser and I drive to Tressel's house Christmas Eve. His wife's giving us Christmas cookies.
in Columbus.
In Columbus. Lived in Upper Arlington.
Yep.
We do the one-on-one interview. We come back, and he goes,
You sleep over or anything?
no, but when people say, what'd you do Christmas Eve? I said, I spent it with the Tressels, But he always was there for me. He never let me down, and he gave me great access when he was at Ohio State.
And he's been great for me with my cancer.
Absolutely. I know he's been good to your daughter, and your daughter deciding what she's going to do and where she's going to go to school. And,
Sure.
and he'll recruit her very hard to be a Penguin, I assure you of that.
So what's your future, Bob? I mean, you
know,
gonna work at United Way forever, or what's the deal?
I think that one of a Tressel belief is you approach your current job like it's going to be your last job, and it probably won't be. Right now, I think United Way will be my last job.
Okay.
I'd like to be there another decade, 12 years or so.
But you said you don't think Tressel will be his last job?
No, my point is that if you don't be looking for other jobs.
Okay.
Don't be out there thinking I'm going to do this, and just do what you do well. And that's what Tressel said when he was at YSU. He wasn't looking for another job. When Ohio State came along, no, this will be my last job. Tressel will never coach again. 100%.
I believe that's
will
it.
never coach again.
Not even.
So I'm not sure the presidency at YSU would be his last job. I think it'll be his last full-time job. I don't think Jim Tressel's one that's going to walk off and do nothing. I think he'll always have his hand, at least part-time, doing something.
Bob, you know a little bit of the campus and everything that. Is there Jim Tressel signature already on this campus? They bring stuff from Ohio State, obviously, probably.
I don't know about signature, but I think the bookstore, Barnes and Noble.
Beautiful. Oh my God.
All the work that's being done. He wanted to build an on-campus life and make it more than a commuter school. So he has his fingers all over all that. So I think the construction that's going on,
Even downtown's helping them out.
downtown's helped a lot. Downtown's really moving. What Tressel's done also, Gary, is we have more students from more counties now than we've ever had. So he's widened the base of kids that come here. And he's also brought in a higher quality of student. Because Tressel told me early on, I don't want to just get kids in Youngstown State. I want to get them to graduate. He goes, I think it's a bad philosophy.
Kind of like a football team.
Yeah, just to get them in. Say we have 14,000 students, but they don't graduate. Now he has kids coming in that he thinks the majority will graduate. And I know he's been at every high school between here and Western PA and middle of the state. When he goes into a high school and speaks, he's recruiting, Gary.
Yeah.
And you know how he is. When he gets in front of kids or families, he's going to win.
He's like your dad almost.
Yeah, right.
He-
And
the way-
the moms love him.
So I was with my daughter,
I have a friend, Ken Breyer, who said his granddaughter met him at a basketball game. For 2 minutes, she was a junior or senior in high school, was thinking about going somewhere else, thought about YSU. She got a letter in the mail. Good luck, hope you become a Penguin. And she had met him for like 2 minutes. She went to YSU. I mean, Tressel remembers, doesn't forget, follows up.
Unbelievable.
He's a special person.
Switch gears. We're not going to talk about the pros because you're a Steeler fan and I'm a Browns fan. There's nothing really to talk about. We know the deal there. Anything interesting in high school in this area so far, Bob? Do you follow it much? Or I know you're a basketball guy, but
You know, Gary, it's funny. People
with
still
your son
think
at Gerard, Craig
right,
at Gerard.
people still think I'm on TV. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. They'll ask me, "What do you think of Mooney?" I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I know Tim Marlowe was really good, okay, or
McCarthy.
Yeah, McCarthy's were really good, and
Zordich.
Don Butchie's a great coach.
Oh, boy.
But I've seen Gerard. I think Mark Wade's the real deal at quarterback.
Okay. Do they have enough though?
Probably
Can
not.
they go 10-0 and like lose in the first round of the
Absolutely.
playoffs?
And I don't think they will, but Girard doesn't have a really good schedule.
Yeah.
The best teams they played are Hubbard and JFK,
Yeah.
and they're down. So
Yeah.
that's the challenge. But Mark Wade's
The
the
rest
real
of their
deal.
schedule isn't.
And I
very-
told you in August, the Poland was going to be good.
Oh yeah, I
And
saw that.
their offensive
And they
line's
ripped
really
Gerard in
good.
the scrimmage, just for the record.
I would think
For the
that-
record.
I would think Canfield's a little better than Poland.
I don't think so.
Okay. We'll
I
find
give Poland the edge.
But I think Poland can beat them.
I think Poland's the best team in the area.
Do you really?
I do.
Yeah.
'Cause
Gary,
they're, by default, almost. And not to take away from Poland. I'm not dissing Poland at all. Poland is going to be good. Last year was an anomaly, I guess.
Right.
3 wins, 4 wins, whatever, when Brungard left.
Right.
But they've been a playoff team year after year
After
after
year.
year. They're not the most prolific team throwing the ball, that's for sure. But they have a great running game, a
A
big
good
line,
system.
and play great defense.
right. And
That
they
could
got-
carry
They
them.
got a program.
And it's Division 4. It gives them a
Right.
chance. Steubenville's be tough. I think they could beat it. I saw Steubenville.
You think they could beat them?
I think they could pound away and beat
Wow.
Steubenville.
Their region's really good.
Their running game is quite spectacular, I believe.
So I've seen one high school football game all year.
Which was?
I saw Girard beat Hubbard, which was a really good game.
Yeah.
Girard had a big lead.
Low
Hubbard
scoring?
came back. No, Girard jumped in front 25-6.
Yeah, well, they got.
Hubbard came back, took the lead, and then
Oh, that's
Wade
right.
ran for
Okay,
2
yeah.
touchdowns late in that game.
So he had like tons of passing and running yards in that game.
He and the quarterback of Poland,
Costco.
Costco, are the two that I would think have a chance to. They're only juniors.
Yeah.
Have a chance to go on and maybe be good enough to play at
Because
YSU.
their physical stature, more or
Yeah,
less.
I think, and they're both they're junkies. What I mean by that is they love the game. They go to the camps. They're in early looking at film. I think they're the kind of quarterbacks that are doing everything they could possibly do to have a successful college
You
career.
know a little about the Brungard name.
Yep.
His boy's quarterback is Springfield.
Springfield.
You probably haven't seen him though.
I
but
have not seen
He's
them.
a junior. He's another kid that we talk about quite a bit. Legacy kid at YSU, perhaps.
Maybe. You speak of legacy, how about the Yeagley at South Range? Every single year.
Which we have him here tonight.
And what I loved about Coach Yeagley, when I was in media, I'd be on the sidelines covering a game. Coaches are focused. He'd come over and talk to you, call a play. How's it going?